Hello, good people. Welcome to ACCA Corporate and Business Law. Today we are going to look at the company directors. So guys, let us begin, shall we? Now, on the company directors, we do have different types of directors. We do have the executive directors and the non-executive directors. I want you to understand this. Those who own the company, the owners of the company, are known as what? Are known as the shareholders. But they do not run the company. Remember, there is separate legal identity. There is separate legal personality. So the shareholders, they do hire people who run the company on their behalf. So those people, they do have a managerial responsibility to run the company, and those people are known as the directors. Right. So we do have the directors. They are hired by the shareholders to run the company on their behalf. They are hired by the shareholders to run the company in the best interest of the shareholders. You understand? But now, since we are doing law, I want you to understand, we need to be specific now. So don't just say it is the directors who are hired to run the company. So we are talking about the directors that run the company on behalf. And which directors are we talking about? We are talking about the executive directors. You understand? So it is the executive directors who run the company. They run the company on behalf of the shareholders. Yes, they run the company because the word executive, it means they are the employees, number one. They are the employees of the company. So they'll give you statements in the exam. They say which of the following is true. An executive director is an employee because they are running the company. Number two, they have what? They have managerial responsibility. They have managerial responsibility. They have the responsibility to manage the company or to run the company. Now, on the executive, we do have their boss. Their boss is known as what? Is known as the CEO, or we say the MD. The boss, their boss or their leader, the leader of the executive directors is called the chief executive officer, or we say managing director. Easy stuff, right? So I've seen this. So these are the executive directors that we have, the executive directors. But what you have to understand is, these people, when we run the company, we have what is known as the board of directors. So people, they will be having meetings. People, they do meet in the board of directors. They will be making decisions. Even when you look at the power of the CEO, yes, when it comes to running the company, CEO is the boss. But the power that he has comes from the board of directors. They'll ask you in the exam, they will give you a question that, what about the power that the CEO has? It comes from where? It is the board of directors that determine that. So the CEO is the leader of the executive directors, and the power they have the power from the board. You understand? These are the directors. They do have their duties to run the company. And also in terms of power, guys, a director has different power. So the power, a director is the power. Even if you're a director, you have the power to borrow money. Because you are running the company on behalf of the shareholders, you have the power. Even if you want to do meetings, yes, you have the power to do that. So also, you understand this when we do another topic called meetings and resolution, right? So guys, a director has power. But we do have different types of those directors. Guys, those who will be running the company, we do have different type of the directors. There's a director known as de jure director. There's a director known as de facto. There's a director known as shadow. Director known as alternate. You understand? So they'll write a statement and they say which of the following is true about these directors. But what you have to understand is, if we hire a director, if we hire you as a director, be our director, we want you to run the company on our behalf. or maybe there's a vacance for a director. We want we have some requirements, and you give us your qualifications. You as a director, maybe minimum of 5 years experience. We need a degree in accounting. We need this. We need this. So many requirements, and you applied for the position of a director, and you get that job. Are you seeing that? When that occurs, then we will be saying this person has been expressly appointed. So if we hire you to be our director, you have been expressly appointed. So we say you are a de jure director. So a de jure director is a director who has been what? Expressly appointed to be the director of the company. That's de jure. What about the de facto now? De facto director, we are saying we have not hired you to be our director. You work within the organization as an employee. Maybe we don't know it, but your post is people, they don't call you the director within the organization. That's not your title, but you perform the duties of a director. Maybe the duties that they give you within an organization, or maybe there are other directors that give you some responsibilities or duties of those directors. You understand? So in other words, you performing the duties of a director, you are a director. So a de facto is not a director who has been expressly appointed, but is the one who performs the duties of what? Of a director. Is the one who perform the duties of a director. Then we have the shadow directors. Shadow, guys, you know shadow. You know shadow director. You understand? Just think of someone who wants to pass but doesn't want to read. You understand? Yes, you want the position that comes from the position of a director, but you'll be avoiding the legal responsibilities. Those are the shadow directors. You understand? Then we have the alternate director. Alternate director, so people, they'll be having meetings. So they'll be having meetings in the board. So you cannot be available, you can be absent sometimes. Then you can appoint someone who will be representing you in the board of director. So if the director is absent and he hires someone who represents you in the board, so that director will be representing you is known as the alternate director. Right. So those are the directors that we have. So in the exam, they'll say, what about the minimum age of a director? So they'll say which of the following is true. The minimum age of being a director may be 16 years. Maybe this is 18 years. This is 20 years. This is 30 years. No, let me say 25 years here. 25, yeah. They'll say which of the following is true. What is the minimum age of being a director? So I do ask most people that question, and the answers people that give me, guys, someone will be saying, I think the minimum age is 25. Someone will be saying, I think the minimum age is 30. So they'll be thinking of what they'll be seeing, maybe when there's a vacancy, where people will be saying, where people will be discriminating in other ways. So we're not doing BT, I'm not going to talk about discrimination. So guys, but what you have to understand, I can give you an example. What is the minimum legal age for you to be a driver, to have a license? You understand? The minimum legal age. People will be saying 16, you understand? So this is the same, guys. Even a director, the minimum age is 16. Is 16, you understand? So the reason why people don't select 16 is because they'll be thinking this. They'll be saying, guys, at 16 years, I do believe that someone will be doing a secondary level, you understand? So that's what people will be thinking. But just imagine, maybe someone is a millionaire and he runs different companies, and you would want maybe his son or daughter to also be part, to be a director. You can do that, you understand? Yes, it doesn't matter if the person lacks experience or what, but what we are saying, the legal age is 16. Right, so that's the answer, that's the correct answer. The minimum age, legal age of being a director is 16 years. So guys, we have the board of directors. People, they meet in the board. People, they meet in the board of directors. Right, so guys, in the board of directors, those that attend, we have the executive directors, including the CEO. Right, so we have the executive directors. in the board. Not just the executive directors, we also have the non-executive directors in the board. Non-executive directors in the board. So guys, why having non-executive? Number one, non-executive, they are not the employees. They are not the employees. This is key. They are not the employees of the company. You understand? The non-executive directors, they are not the employees of the company. They meaning that they don't have managerial responsibility to run the company. They don't run the company. So what happens is, the shareholders are the owners. They have appointed people who have experience and who are qualified to run the company on their behalf. But doesn't mean that they trust them 100%. What if these directors make fraud? You understand? What if they run the company in their best interest? What if there is an agency problem? You understand? So they will also hire people who will monitor these executive directors. So we have a group of the people who are hired to monitor this, to even appraise, review the performance of these executive directors, because they will be running the company. So we don't know how they are performing, you understand? So we need the non-executive directors to review their performance, you understand? So the non-executive directors, we group them into three: into the remuneration committee, into nomination committee, and also into audit committee. You understand? So we group them into remuneration, nomination, and what? And audit committee. Like when the executive directors run the company, guys, what you have to understand is, I don't want to talk much about audits. We are not doing audit and assurance, you understand? But in audit we say, no director should be involved in setting his or her own pay. So you are the directors, you are running the company. So you cannot set the pay. You cannot determine the pay. You cannot determine your salary. I can even ask you a question that, how much, if you are a director, then you say, determine the salary that you want. How much do you want? Obviously, you would say more than necessary, understand? Right, which will not be the best interest of the owners, which will not be the best interest of the members of the shareholders, you understand? Right, so these are the non-executive directors, number one. So these non-executive directors, guys, they must be independent of the company. They must be independent. They must not have any relationships with this. If they are not independent, if they have relationship with the executive, then everything that they are doing, it will be biased. Remember, we want them to report to the shareholders. You understand? Right, so we are saying, number one, we group them into remuneration. They will determine the remuneration packages of the executive directors. Even the CEO doesn't pay himself. It is the remuneration committee that determines their salaries. You understand? Number two, we have the nomination committee. Yes, this one, they do what? Since they have been reviewing the performance, they can hire the directors. They can fire the directors. So they do what is called the hiring and firing of the directors. Yes. And we also have the audit committee. Yes, the audit committee will also be there under non-executive. But now, I don't want to talk much about audit because we're not doing audit, guys. So there are so many responsibilities of the audit committee. Yes, the audit committee. Guys, we have the board of directors. In the board, we say the board has to be balanced. So if we have 5 executives, we also need 5 non-executives, you understand? So you're saying the board has to be balanced. But who runs the board? About running a company, we know that it is the CEO and the other executive director that run the company. But what about running the board of directors? Because this is not the company. This is where people, they will be attending meetings. So everything that you do on running the company, you only do what you have agreed in the meetings, you understand? So remember, because the CEO and other directors, the power that you have is what determined by the board. So there will be someone who is also independent who runs the board. And who is that person? Chairman or what? Chairperson. Chairperson or chairman runs the board of directors, and we also have the secretary who will be writing minutes. You understand? So we also have the secretary. and the chairman is the one who runs the board of directors. But what you have to understand that in the board, people they what? People they vote. People they vote. You understand? So there are some of the decisions that are passed. So guys, we have what is called the ordinary resolution. And we have the special resolution. Ordinary resolution and the special resolution. Ordinary resolution, we are saying there are some decisions for them to be passed. They need more than 50% vote. Just imagine, I can give you an example. Let's say, for example, in the board, there are 10 people. There are 10 people in the board, right? We have 10 people. For a decision to be passed under ordinary resolution, we are saying if more than half agrees. So we are saying if above 50% agrees, then a decision will be passed. On special resolution, it has to be above what? 75%, or we say above 3/4. You understand? Right. So here's the question. When you want to remove a director, the removal of a director, you use what? Removal of a director, do we need ordinary resolution or special resolution? Guys, when removing the director, when more than half doesn't want you, then that's enough. You understand? There's no need to say, let's reach 75%. On special resolution, guys, this applies to more important things, such as changing the company's name, you understand? But just removing a director or even an auditor, we say what? Which resolution is that? If more than half says we no longer want this director, then that's it. Then you'll be forced to resign. You understand? So the removal of a director needs what? An ordinary resolution. Ordinary resolution, which is above what? 50%. Right. So, but since you are a director is not just like any employee. You understand? So we say we will give you an ordinary resolution. An ordinary resolution plus special notice. You understand? So when you are removing a director or an auditor, it's not just yes, ordinary resolution. You are saying just 50%, more than half. If they say they no longer want you, then you are forced to resign. But since you are a director, we also give you a special notice. So under multiple choice, don't just say we remove the director, just ordinary resolution. Don't forget that there is a special notice that we give them. You understand? So it's ordinary resolution plus the special notice. Okay, so that's the key thing on when removing the directors. So guys, I want you to understand also this. There is what is called the Articles of Association. Articles of Association. Guys, a company is all about articles. What you have agreed in the articles. You understand? So in the Articles of Association, even we also have, because Articles of Association governs the internal affairs of the company. You understand? So guys, when a company is being formed, they sign different documents, memorandum of association, which govern the external affairs, how you'll be dealing with others. But the main thing is the articles, which will tell us more about your company, the internal affairs of the company. When we want to understand the directors, we also need you look at the Articles of Association. So we remember now, I want you to understand this. Anything that they say about Articles of Association, if they say it's yes, the answer is yes. If the Articles of Association permits you to do that, then you do that. If the article says doesn't permit you to do anything, then you don't do that. You understand? That's what we say on Articles of Association. But guys, understand this. When directors are making decisions within an organization, or even the shareholders, they don't just... So they will tell you in the exam which of the following is correct. When directors make a decision, we won't say they should make the decision that benefits the shareholders. They'll give you which of the following is true. The directors, when they make decision, they will focus on what? The focus is not just pleasing the owners. The focus is on what? They should make decision for the greater good. Like that should benefit, it should benefit the company as a whole, not just the shareholders, guys. The decision they make should benefit the company as a what? As a whole. You understand? Yeah, so that's it, guys. And the executive directors, when you hire the executive directors, you are dealing with the actual and also the expected. What am I saying if I say the actual and the expected? Because remember, this person is applying for the job. You look at the qualifications. We look at the qualification, you can see the qualification that this person has and also the experience. So you can see now the actual, that this person actually has the experience. This person has the skill. This person has what? The knowledge. You understand? You are dealing with the actual. But not just the actual, because you've never seen this person working, so you are also expecting that this person will be good or not. You understand? So you also deal with the expected, and they should exercise reasonable skill in the care. So a director has a duty to exercise the reasonable skill in care. That's company directors.